Baldi, how we doing?
Bro and Bo, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Baldi? We're doing good. We just had a chance to talk to Trevor Keegan, the fifth round rookie from Michigan. Great insight from him. I wonder if you have any thoughts on him after having a chance to watch him.
Well, I mean, when Trevor came to Michigan, it was kind of old school. I mean, Harbaugh just redshirted the class. I mean, he's one of those kids that just came in, 18 years old, out of school in Illinois. I mean, he sits there and you go in the weight room and you get your classes done and you redshirt, and you go up against a pretty good team, and so like he came the old way, 5 years. They had the pandemic year, but they played some games. But he was a 3-year starter there on maybe the best offensive line in football. Had so many guys drafted out of Michigan over the last 3 years. Really well coached. He's got a big frame. At one point in his college career, he weighed 345, 350. Like he went and lost 30 pounds for better movement and explosion, all that kind of stuff. So he's kind of done it the old school way. Like I think he got drafted. I thought he'd get drafted somewhere in the 4th or 5th round. But those kind of guys that are played a lot of college football in a run-based scheme where the run blocking is good, he's got good natural power. Like those kind of guys end up becoming starters in the NFL. And that's what I expect Trevor to become.
So, Baldi, one of the things we learned in the interview, thanks to Bo's question, was how ambidextrous Trevor actually is. He says he can throw a football right and left. He can shoot a basketball right and left. Can you talk about how much of a head start that is for somebody that could, be fighting for a swing guard position in the NFL?
Well, I think, look, there's a lot of guys that can become a swing guard, swing tackle, play multiple positions and not be ambidextrous.
Sure. That's but there's a natural help there, isn't there?
It's on the field when you're challenging people to left-handed, ball tosses and stuff like that. But regardless, like I expect him to be able to flip sides. If he becomes the swing interior offensive lineman this year, where, in some days in the NFL now you're dressing 7 guys, if he becomes that guy, I expect him to be able to get in a right-handed stance or left-handed stance. Yeah, it's just something that you have to learn how to do. And so now's a good time of the year. You're out there on the field. You can work on some of this stuff. He was the left guard at Michigan. But I expect him to be able to do both and, and learn another position. He's got the length. I'm not sure he can play tackle. He's got good size, but his arms aren't real long. He looks like a guy that should play inside, guard or center. And I kind of expect that's what he's going to become, at least initially right now.
We don't have to make this all offensive line, but I do want to keep talking about the offensive line. Yeah,
Baldi's got no problem there.
One of my favorite picks that the Eagles made over the course of draft weekend was my guy Dylan McMahon from NC State. I love the profile, the undersized center with this great short shuttle time, this extensive history of starting along all 3 interior offensive line positions. What do you think of Dylan McMahon?
Well, he's just that. He's undersized. So, people would naturally want to say, okay, can this be our next Jason Kelce? Well, he can't run like Jason could and still can. But that's okay. That's all right. I mean, there's a place for undersized guys. The Eagles just signed one, out of Temple, in free agency. There's a place for these guys that know how to play with leverage, that have good first step quickness. He's going to get a chance to win the backup center position here,
right
behind Cam Jurgens. He's going to get that opportunity. But even if he doesn't, the way the rules have changed since the pandemic, where you can keep 14 or 15 guys on the practice squad, it's almost like if you're on the 90-man squad right now, it's almost impossible to get cut. Like you got to be really bad to get cut right now because you're going to try and keep Lane Johnson healthy during the week. He's not going to do a lot of that stuff during the week. So you're going to keep probably 10 or 11 offensive linemen right now, probably dress 8 or 9, every weekend. And if you're not dressing, you're out there with stout game day going through an hour and a half straight of drills. So it's a great place for Dylan to come and learn, and knowing the history of what the Eagles had, with Kelce retiring and what he became coming out of Cincinnati 13 years ago.
So, Baldi, one of the guys we were talking about earlier in the show is Cooper DeJean, and the athletic ability. Vic Fangio very, very well. The idea we were talking about is kind of, I don't want to say positionless because there's always a position, but is there a scenario where you see this kid kind of as like an amoeba all over the middle of the field, playing a little bit of safety, a little bit of like coverage linebacker, a little bit of slot, a little bit of corner? How do you kind of envision him slotting into this defense?
Well, I think that's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's role right now. He's really good at it. I don't think it benefits Cooper DeJean to do that. Like, it might evolve into that, bro.
Okay.
But honestly, it's good if you just line up and say right corner right now and play right corner. I mean, that's where Bradbury's been. That's a weakness, a real weakness right now. Like, I don't know exactly how they're going to align these guys up when they get to minicamp and throughout the offseason right now. I guess we'll find out pretty soon. But I think it benefits them to learn corner. I don't think you can just say, okay, he's going to be this magical chess piece, and
Sure.
we'll put him there, because then you don't really master anything. I think it's important to learn a position, and if it evolves from there, that's good. And we think that he has that type of versatility, but that's kind of how he played at Iowa. But that was within the framework of the defense.
Sure.
I think to start with, like, get out there, do a bunch of one-on-ones against this receiving core of the Eagles, work on your man-to-man skills, work on your off-man coverage, work on your techniques, work on getting your hands on guys. Like, I just think right now, learn NFL fundamental techniques at cornerback and then go from there.
And that is sort of how Jeff Stoutland has done things with guys in the past, right? Master this one position, and then we'll move on to working you around the different spots on the line. I'm going to keep it on the offensive line for you. You are close with the Jets as you are with the Eagles. What do you make of Mekhi Becton coming here, trying to resurrect his career under Jeff Stoutland?
Well, I told somebody in the Eagles when they signed him, I said, you got to go back to Jason Peters' prime. I mean, his very prime, to find a more powerful player than Mekhi Becton.
Wow.
Like, this guy has unique power. I mean, DeJean doesn't have it. Landon Dickerson doesn't have it. Mailata doesn't have it. This guy has unusual power. Now, he hasn't been able to stay on the field. Even his rookie year, which was sensational. I nicknamed him Highway 77. Like, he just cleared out a path his rookie year with the Jets. There was nobody more dominant in the run game than Mekhi. Now, he's had a number of injuries. He's had a lot of setbacks. And I think there's a question of just his level of toughness to stay on the field. If Mekhi was on this interview with me, I would say it to Mekhi. Like, I like him, and I want him to do good. They've got nothing to lose by signing Mekhi Becton. Now, he tried to, they put him at right tackle last year. Initially, he didn't like it. He balked at it. He thinks he's just a left tackle. He may have to be able to swing. So, he should work on his right tackle sets. But if they can keep him healthy, if Stout can get underneath him and get whatever's inside of him out, and if he can stay in shape, because that's been an issue too. If they do that, I mean, they got themselves a hell of a player.
Do you think he could play guard, Baldi?
I guess he could. He's never played guard. I don't know that. Like, he thinks of himself. Look, part of his issue, he's been immature since he came into this league. He's been immature. Like, I remember having him talk to Willie Roaf one year at OL Masterminds, just because Willie Roaf became a Hall of Famer. But he wasn't a Hall of Fame guy his first couple of years in New Orleans. He became that guy. Like, he had his issues. He had a lot of issues early on in his career. So I thought, hey, talk to Willie. Here's a guy that's been through it, Mekhi. Learn from a guy that has been through this stuff. Like, he's kind of immature. But, like, maybe being cut, being released, sometimes you got to get humbled to think, like, you're not all that. You got to, like, actually go to work, and you got to really work at your craft. I'm not dodging the question, Bo, but I think he could play guard. It just pads, I would want to play guard if I wanted to get back on the field and show everybody in New York that you made a mistake.
Well, that's like, the thing, right? Is the spot for this Eagles team, if everybody stays healthy, where there is a job to be won, is right guard. And I guess it's, could it be Becton? How do you feel about Tyler Steen moving forward if he is the guy?
I think Tyler Steen's gotten a lot stronger. I think that's the first thing, is he's gotten stronger. They've been impressed by his work ethic and what he has done. And in his, limited play last year, he played pretty good. I know Lane would love to have Brandon Brooks back in there at right guard. Just a big 340-pound Isaac Seumalo. Give me a 340-pound, guys that can move bodies inside, and watch Lane just clean everything up on the backside, double teams, combo blocks. Mekhi is, on a good day, is probably 360. He might be more, but he can move. So I would say that you should at least see what it looks like at that position right now, because this could be the most powerful offensive line in football. Mekhi found a way in the starting position.
So, Baldi, I got a non-football question for you here, because I'm not sure how much Zach and Bo actually know about the travel dog lifestyle here. I live vicariously through you on Instagram. Can you give us the travel dog travel itinerary for the summer here, Baldi?
Well, unfortunately, bro, like if I just step away here, on my last trip to the Bahamas.
Oh, no.
Like
What happened?
I mean, trying to get in the boat, sharks are coming, trying to just get out of the water, before anybody gets hungry.
I was going to ask if you were wrestling a crocodile or something.
Well, no, I wasn't doing that, but I was trying to get out of the boat and rip my tricep. So I just had surgery to reattach the tricep last Friday. So I'm kind of in this cast. I'm trying to do my best. I'm looking at the ocean right now. I'm trying to do my best to behave myself. Because I told this doctor, I only want to do this surgery once. So it's put everything like to Belize, to Bali, to Dubai, some of the places I was all scheduled to go. It's kind of on hold right now. It's just if I still have youthful recovery or if I have old man recovery. I don't know yet. I got to find that out.
I believe in you, Baldi.
What's the recovery timeline? Are we going to still get like a little sliver of time before camp?
Well, I told Jaws, he's got his golf tournament like June 6th and 7th. I told him, I'm like, I don't think I can swing club June 6th and 7th. But I go there for the party.
Oh,
I'll go there and slam drinks with everybody. That'd be all right. I'm hoping by the time we get to July 4th that I can be a participant in a lot of different activities.
Baldi. We're doing a trip this summer, my wife and I, to Brazil and Argentina, Rio and Buenos Aires. I'm wondering he's got tips for you. Yeah, what your tips are for us.
Well, I mean, I've been to Brazil 10 times, and I'm going to go 11.
I think we have talked about this. Yes.
I'm going to go to Sao Paulo for the Eagles opener against Green Bay.
Nice.
Like there's some things, like you can't, like there's a big competition, like a daily competition between Argentinians and Brazilians over who cooks the best meat. Now, I'm a carnivore. I eat nothing but meat. So I can tell you that the Argentinian grill is good, but I believe in the churrascaria in Brazil.
Really?
So, yeah, like I can eat that meat 3 meals a day, 365 days a year for sure, out of Brazil. So you have to do that. You got to go have a good carnivore setting. I think Argentina, like Buenos Aires, is a really good walking city. It's a good blend of the old and the new in that city. But there's nobody that parties like Brazil in any event. Like you want to go see like beach volleyball, there's a party going on. You want to go see any kind of sporting event, soccer, whatever level, like nothing compares. Like if you want to go to La Bombonera, where like soccer in Argentina really it like takes place, that stadium shakes like nothing else.
Just wear the right colors, I hear.
Boca Juniors at La Bombonera, like that's a sporting event.
So Baldi, what's the most exotic meat you've ever eaten?
Ooh, good question.
Well, I've had a lot. I would say, obviously the bison is pretty typical these days. Oxtail is like nothing else. Like that's that just falls off the bone.
Yeah.
I guess the old just frogs and alligator. Frogs and alligator. I mean, who doesn't go frog gigging in this world? Like for good bullfrogs. Like that's frog legs are a delicacy.
Yeah.
I might have you beat here, Baldi. I've had raw horse.
Ooh, in Iceland?
And whale bacon in Japan.
Whale bacon.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. I got to give that to Bo, Baldi.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had the whale bacon, but I mean that's good blubber. And the source of all bacon is good fat. So whale blubber fat bacon sounds good to me.
Yeah, I had some guinea pig in Ecuador.
Was that gross? Pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't run it back.
Wines. It's a dirty animal, and who doesn't love the pig?
Good point.
Baldi, you're the best.
You are.
Thank you so much for taking the
speedy
time.
recovery
On so many different fronts and speedy recovery. Absolutely.
Let's discuss the Eagles' schedule sometime next week.
Let's do it. It's supposed to come out on Wednesday. We can talk to you after that.
Sounds good, guys. See you, man.
See you, Baldi.
all city like the mayor.